I've shared with you guys that when you set out to do something, it can be very helpful and necessary to be clear as to why you are doing that. What about that is of interest? Why does it spark your interest? Why does that fill you with excitement or with joy, or just thinking about it makes you want to go and do that? What is the attraction of setting out to do that? What will you gain from carrying out that action or moving in that direction? And not only does it matter or does it help to be clear on why, it also is helpful to continuously become clear, have clarity around that as you go throughout your process. Because as you go throughout these processes and move in those directions, whatever that might be for you, you will be making changes, and you might be making radical changes in your life. So not only are you going to be developing, the reason why that you are going to do any one particular thing is also going to be developing. And I do feel called to make an analogy to something that I've shared in one of my previous videos, and that was on my journey to creating new relationships to food. And I spoke about how food is directly correlated to your mental state of being and how that might relate to depression. So I became excited to explore that because I was so desperate to get out of this state of being. That was depression, that was anxiety, and all the things that might come with that, right? There's varying degrees that you might find yourself having that kind of an experience. So the thought, my why, was just get me out of this state of being. No matter what, I just need to not feel this way anymore. I cannot take it. I feel like my head's gonna explode. I feel like I'm deteriorating. That was the energy. And so that was my why. And as I would research online. Imagine running on zero. My tank was on empty. And I was just desperately looking for answers. And something that kept coming up was, okay, well, what are you putting in your body? What are you eating? If you eat these kinds of foods, that might help. Are you drinking water? Are you breathing properly? What are you ingesting? So, consumption, something that I was being prompted to investigate, to see about what was my patterns of behavior in that respect. And so because it kept coming up, I decided to really go down that rabbit hole, right? You can explore so many different areas. And as I went down that rabbit hole, I saw that it kept expanding. There were so many different things that came up that I didn't even know what was real. I didn't know what to believe, what was good, what was bad. And this is where my relationship to my body started deepening, and it was developing more and more. I was kind of going through this trial and error process and seeing what resonated within my body and becoming more sensitive to myself, letting go of the things that were numbing my body, not allowing me to actually feel what resonated. And as I let go of those things, I was able to kind of sense more and see what felt right. once I got into a stable space, it became so fun for me to explore different things. So, for example, a breakfast I would always make was carrots and onions and salt and vinegar and olive oil over easy eggs with arugula and feta cheese. This was like my everyday breakfast. I started eating this. And I would likely not eat that. I don't want to say never, but I would likely not eat that now, right? That is not what I would consider my healthy and resonant choice of breakfast. But then it was like everything. That was everything that I needed and more. It made me so excited. So I got really creative. I started chopping the carrots real thin. I started just putting a lot of love into that experience. And it was exciting for me. I had something to look forward to when I would wake up. I looked forward to drinking my water in the sunshine. I looked forward to looking into the sun, right? Receiving that light would put me in a positive state of mind. Receiving that energy from the food made me feel like I was doing something right. When you're depressed, you feel like nothing you do is right. You feel like nothing you do is good enough. Because no matter what you do, you still feel like shit, right? And you can get into these negative thought loops and then these negative feeling states, and then they just amplify, and it's just a disaster, right? So that's why these little things were so enlivening. It was like, oh my God, finally I'm doing something right. And it was funny too, because I'm like, all I had to do was chop carrots. I think you call it like julienne carrots. Don't quote me on that. I don't really know if that's the right way to say it, but whatever. All I had to do is, put some over easy eggs on a plate. It was the little things that started to bring me so much joy. So you have your big picture, right? I'm experiencing depression, or I'm lacking in this area of my life. So my why is, I'm doing this because I want this outcome. This is how great this outcome would be. This is how it would feel to have this experience, right? Let's say that the outcome I want is to plant a date tree. And my why is to witness the growth of a tree, to give back to the earth, to have an abundance of dates. Not only will it feed me, it will feed everyone. So if I explore this day by day, week by week, month by month, imagine how many reasons you can come up with, how these reasons may develop over time as you witness your tree grow. So that's your big picture, right? Or let's just say that your big picture is, I'm setting forth to no longer be depressed, to be happy, to be stable, to be joyful. And the reasons why is because I will be able to show up for my family. I'll be able to show up for my friends. I might be able to align with friends who are more healthy for me to be around. I'll feel better in my body. My why is because I'm a passionate person, right? And you just go crazy as to why you're going to do that. That's your big picture. But as you start moving in that direction, you will start to see your relationship to your body, your relationship to your physical activity, your relationship to the people in your life, your relationship to the fun things that you do, setting that time for yourself to have a good time, right? Going on dates with yourself, going to the movies, watching a movie, making yourself dinner. Check this out. Look at my shadow. All of these little aspects also have their wise to them, right? So getting caught up in the big picture can sometimes not necessarily be as helpful as it would be to relish in the little things, to get excited about the subcategories within your bigger picture. You can let go of the tension of attaining or grasping this achievement and start to redirect your energy towards things that are simple, to things that will allow you to let go of that larger picture. It sounds counterintuitive, but when you focus so much of your energy, especially if you're experiencing resistance or you feel like, oh man, this change isn't happening or it's not happening fast enough, you will actually repel the experience from you, thus allowing the aspect of you that has been so locked in on this loop of negativity to kind of get your attention, to grasp at your attention more. So we want to avoid allowing that part of you that you've practiced yourself into for so many years to grab a hold of you, in a sense, to get your attention. And you want to be able to monitor yourself and say, no, okay, maybe you're not at 100% stable yet. Maybe you're not the happiest person on planet Earth yet. Maybe you don't feel as radiant within yourself as you would like to yet. But where else can I focus? Where else will allow me to start to amplify the feeling of that experience, to move in that direction? What are the subcategories that I must develop myself in as to be in that full fruition state of wellness or stability? Where can I develop in those subcategories? How can I get excited about those things? Right? Because you think about the big picture, you think about the stability within that big picture, and it's like, oh my God, how amazing would that be? That would be so great if I just was a happy person, or if I didn't wake up just feeling like so low. When it feels so far out of your reach and you feel discouraged, that's going to amplify. That's going to be more apparent to you. So in those moments where you feel like it's so far out of your reach, just like how you would get excited about attaining that, get excited about, let's say, how you're going to develop your physical activity. Even if you don't really feel that, tell yourself, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about taking a walk. I'm so looking forward to feeling that fresh air in my lungs. I can sense how much better I'll feel when I have more space in my mind, when I have more mental clarity after engaging my physical activity. Or, I love dancing. Dancing makes me feel free. It makes me feel liberated. It puts me out of my comfort zone. You know what? Today I'm going to play my music and it's just going to be so amazing. Get excited about these things, even if it's not something that you're particularly excited about. Because you don't want that big picture to just weigh you down because of the gap that you're actually experiencing from where you're at to where you want to be. And the whole point is to actually enjoy the little things that will get you there, right? So it's very counterintuitive to actually operate that way. And so this is what I felt called to share with you guys. Explore that and address every part of yourself. Address all the aspects of your being. Do not oversaturate your attention on only one aspect of yourself. Find a way to enjoy even the things that you don't necessarily enjoy. What about that thing, that aspect, that subcategory that you don't particularly enjoy or you're not particularly fond of? What about that? How can you relate to it in a way that's actually going to make you feel like, hey, I can actually get down with this. I actually like this. This isn't so bad. When we're closed-minded, we won't be able to open ourselves. We won't be able to see, right? Like I said, we won't have the eyes to see. Got to open your mind. Open your mind. That's not the energy. Explore yourself. Become curious. When you're operating from curiosity, when you're operating from your own intuitive and inquisitive experience, self-expression through thought, through creativity, it's going to feel way more fluid. It's going to feel way less rigid, way more open. No one's telling you that you must do this in order to be that, right? So enjoy yourself, even if it's not your area of expertise. Thank you for listening. Appreciate you.